On May 23rd, 2022, my son went out of the house to go see his friends. He loved to blast music, so he listened to music as any teenager does. He was driving on a street named Tanglewood on Wildflower Drive, I believe, or Wildflower Street. Now, when he was going down the hill, there was this guy in front of him driving. This guy repeatedly putting his brake on the car just to see if my son was going to hit his car or not. My son thought the guy was crazy. He tried to pass the car. Instead, the guy quickly swerved to the next lane so he doesn't pass him. And then he got out of his car. Mind you, his little girl was right in the car when all of this happened. The guy yelled and cursed at my son and threatening him and say, if I ever catch you on my street, I will get you. And he turned to my son's friend and said, what you gonna do about it? And he antagonized them. So my son told me he kept telling the guy to go home. He saw the little girl. He didn't want to scare the little girl, so he just kept telling him, just go home. Just go home. And then he turned around the circle to go home, and he happened to see the guy again in front of his house. When the guy saw him where he lived, he quickly called the police. Not because he felt bad about what happened, because he wants to play the victim, saying that, oh, I stopped this young man because he was speeding, he was doing bumper to my car, and I was yelling at him, and now he see where I live, and I was afraid that they were going to throw eggs. Mind you, that's what the police officer told me. Let's go back to the story. When my son told me that, I told him to come pick me up from my house. And then I went over to the person's house. I rang the doorbell twice. Nobody answered. When I see nobody answered, I called the police. I told them the whole story, what my son told me. And I also told them that my son told me the man took a picture of him in his car. And I say, I have friends living around the neighborhood where the guy live. My son have friends living around the neighborhood where the guy live. So I do not want anything happen to him or his life being in danger because of him driving the car. So I told the police I was at the person's house trying to get his side of the story, trying to ask him the reason why he took the pictures and what kind of picture he took. The officer asked me, did you know that they called the police too? I said, no, I didn't. I said, may I ask what he told you about his story? The police officer told me that, well, he said your son was driving bumper to bumper. He was worried that your son was going to hit him in the car, so he keeps stopping, and he stopped your son from passing him, and he told your son to not drive recklessly again. I said, did he even told you that he threatening my son's life? And the police officer continued to tell me, no, he didn't tell me he threatening your son's life. I think he was just worried that he might get eggs thrown in his house and stuff. And I say, my son is not a criminal. He have dreads, and normally people think every kids who have dreads is troublemakers. My son was simply minding his own business, hanging out with his friends, and about to drive to go home. The police officer told me they were already looking for my car. They couldn't find my car until I called to tell them where I am. This story got me to think that I am tired of racism. I am tired of people making it seem like we're the criminals. I am tired of hearing families losing their loved ones. Like Kendrick Johnson. If anybody don't know who Kendrick Johnson is, please watch the Netflix. Watch it on cable. This boy, he was in school. He got bullied by two white boys. They murdered him because the father was the head of the police of the department. And then 7 detectives just stopped working there because they were friends with the father. And they saw that the father was guilty. The family was guilty. What did they do? The police department there raised money for the family and make that boy become a football player while the other family was digging their son's grave to re-examine the body. Now, do I want my son to turn up to be like that? No, I don't. I feel like this is the moment we, the people, need to stop looking the other way. Stop saying, oh, we don't want no violence, because these people are bringing violence in our door. Oh, yes, they are. The problem is it's not about if you're scared of dying. All of us in this world is gonna die. The thing is are you gonna die for a purpose? Will you die for a purpose? It's time to stand up for our loved ones. It's time to say enough is enough. What I want to say is this is the time we must rise up. Rise up and make a difference. Rise up and stand up for ourselves and our family. Rise up for what you believe in, no matter what. Because what's going to happen is going to happen. What's going to be done is going to be done. We need to rise up. Enough is enough. Enough losing our children. Enough losing our mothers. Enough losing our aunts and uncles. Enough losing our cousins. Enough losing our fathers. Enough. They putting the fear in our house. They putting the fear where we are. They have a huge gang that's controlling most of the state, most of the police department, most of the government, most of everything they are running. They are the KKK. Well, let's dress all in black. They dress all in white. Let's dress all in black and call ourselves Rise Up. And put the fear where it belongs. We bleed like we do. We cry. And I feel like we cry even more than what they do. Because we're not the one who's putting the fear in their families. We're not the one who's putting the fear of saying, do not step here. We're not the one who's creating white bathrooms, black bathrooms. We're not the one who's calling them crackers, pale faces, or anything. They're calling us names. They're calling us Negroes. They're saying we don't belong here. They're saying we don't deserve to breathe. And they call themselves the children of God. People, when you're going to start to see, we are battling demons. Because only demons feel so much hatreds like that, that they want to kill us. They want to torture us. They want to rip us open just to say we are God. We are better than these people. We need to rise up. Rise up. Rise up.